Hi friends, in this video we are gonna see about the ulnar nerve special test. Okay, so we are gonna see 5 important tests in this video. The first is the Foreman sign. Okay, the Foreman sign indicates the ulnar nerve palsy by the weakness of the adductor pollicis. What is the action of the adductor pollicis? It is the adduction. Okay, at the carpometacarpal joint, and also ulnar nerve affects the intraocular muscle, which cause the IP joint extension. Okay, so in a normal sign, when we press the thumb against the index finger, okay, like placing a paper or any card, okay, so when we try to pull it, it doesn't come out, so this is a normal sign. Okay, but when you have a ulnar nerve palsy, due to the weakness, the thumb goes for flexion. Okay, so the thumb goes for flexion. This is because the flexor pollicis longus, which is supplied by the median nerve, which cause the IP joint for the flexion. It is dominated. The weakness of the adductor pollicis is dominated by the flexor pollicis longa, which causes the flexion. So this is a positive sign. So Foreman signs positive. The second test is the Wartenberg sign. In this, the ulnar nerve palsy can be indicated by the palmar intraossei. Okay, so in Foreman, it is indicated by the weakness of the adductor pollicis. In Wartenberg's, it is indicated by the palmar intraossei. So, what is the action of the palmar intraossei? Yeah, at MCP joint of the second, uh, fourth and fifth, it causes the adduction and the flexion. At metacarpal joint of the third, fourth and fifth, it causes the adduction and the finger flexion, and at IP joint it causes the extension. Okay, and unopposed action of the digiti minimi. So it is indicated by the palmar intraossei and the unopposed action of the digiti minimi. So the patient is asked to adduct their fingers. Okay, first they are said to adduct their fingers, then abduct. This is a normal sign, but when they try to abduct, after that the patient with ulnar nerve palsy, they have an involuntary abduction of the digiti minimi. Okay, that is the fifth digit. So this is a positive Wartenberg sign. The third sign is the Pollock's sign. In this, there is a loss of flexor digitorum profundus. Okay, that is the action of the flexor digitorum profundus is the flexion of the IP joint. So in Pollock's sign, the fourth and fifth digit cannot flex their IP joint, distal interphalangeal joint. So when they try to flex, they cannot flex their distal interphalangeal joint. Okay, so this is the Pollock sign. This is because the loss of the flexor digitorum profundus. The action is the IP joint flexion. So there is a loss in the movement. Okay, so this is a positive sign. They are unable to flex. The fourth is the Janus sign. In this, at the metacarpophalangeal of the thumb, there will be a hyperextension. Okay, at the MCP of the thumb, there will be a hyperextension, and in the interphalangeal joint, there will be a flexion. Okay, it will be the position will be like that. Here, hyperextension, and in IP joint there will be a flexion. Hyperextension occurs because the flexors of the thumb at the metacarpal phalangeal joints are reduced. Okay, they are weakened. Okay, what are the muscles? That is the flexor pollicis brevis and the adductor pollicis. Okay, due to the flexor pollicis brevis, which is innervated by the ulnar, and it also innervated by the median and the adductor pollicis. The last fifth sign is the Bunnell O sign. In this, the patient is asked to touch their pulp of their thumb and their index finger. But in case of ulnar nerve palsy, the patient will go for hyperextension at MCP joint and also hyperflexion at the IP joint. Okay, so these are the 5 important tests for ulnar nerve injury. I hope you all understood it. Thank you, and do subscribe to my channel to get more videos.